Don't like anime? Well, guess what? This video is for you. Because even non-anime fans have heard of Akira Toriyama's Dragon Ball franchise. And with a great well-known franchise comes some incredibly memorable villains. Let's take a look at Dragon Ball's most iconic ones right now. The Red Ribbon Army hired the Mercenary Tao to kill Goku. Mercenary Tao holds a distinction above many other villains, in that he was the first Dragon Ball villain to overwhelm the Saiyan hero. Until this point, Goku was rather cocky, but seeing someone like Mercenary Tao at least get the better of him forced him to retreat and train for the first time. Goku quickly outgrew him, but Mercenary Tao is the reason heroes in the Dragon Ball franchise go through intense training montages to beat even more powerful villains. Nothing says intimidating more than a name like Baby. Then of course you get a look at the guy. Baby was the main antagonist of the Baby Saga from Dragon Ball GT. His planet was destroyed and his people massacred during the Saiyan Tuffle War. He is one of a few villains with an unshakable motivation. As the sole survivor of his race, he believes he is destined to find vengeance for his people. It's for this reason that he can't be reasoned with. He will always see his actions as justified. Eventually, he fell too far to the dark side. After swearing to destroy all the Saiyans, he became one himself. He's most remembered as the guy who made the Saiyans truly question whether they were right. In Universe 10, Zamasu became the Supreme Kai apprentice. In a grab for power, he killed his own master and even swapped bodies with the Goku of his universe. However, most of his icon status comes from his unbelievable power. Taking the new moniker of Goku Black, Zamasu traveled the multiverse, convincing past versions of himself to help him. It was his antics with the time rings that caused Dragon Ball Super to create the Tournament of Power. In the end, he nearly took the whole thing, cementing his legacy. When it comes to recognizable villains, Majin Buu, the primordial being, may take the cake. He reflects all of humanity's potential for evil, and has a nasty ability to absorb his opponents. He takes many forms, but is most popular as a plump and pink Baymax-looking creature. Of his many forms, Kid Buu is by far the most destructive. Overall, Buu is a great departure from the villains you can expect to be villains just by looking at them. Broly was an instantly iconic villain from his first appearance, even before his character got a little more depth in Dragon Ball Super Broly. Between his split personality, unyielding hatred for Goku, and overall just being OP, this menace made sure you'd remember him. Deep inside this behemoth, we find a scared and antisocial kid, just hoping to control his anger. There's even a part of him that wants to be an ally to Goku and the team. But if anything, Broly just proves that being the most powerful Super Saiyan shouldn't be handled lightly. Dragon Ball is full of monstrous creatures and overly buff dudes looking to destroy the main heroes. But Android 18 gives us a glimpse at something different. A snarky android from future Trunks' timeline. She is designed to look like a beautiful woman to disarm her opponents, only to show off the fighting prowess capable of matching Goku. Eventually, her arc would take her from enemy to full ally of the Z Fighters after marrying Krillin. Overall, Dragon Ball has a few female villains who have managed to stay relevant. None have reached the levels of Android 18. Definitely need to get a god on this list, and who better than the god of destruction from Universe 7, Beerus. As a god, he is one of the strongest beings in his universe, and his Egyptian design capped off with a feline appearance definitely makes him stand out. Overall, Beerus often shirks his duties, and chooses pleasure over responsibility. He gets excitement from chaos, and has the power to create it. It's honestly Beerus that makes me more of a dog person. Dr. Gero created the physical embodiment of evolution in the form of one of Dragon Ball's greatest villains, Cell. During the Cell saga, Cell continuously grows and adapts after realizing he is too weak to complete his mission. He constantly consumes humans and develops the worst parts of humanity. Cell has one of the coolest voices, the greatest looks, and the most compelling narrative of almost any Dragon Ball villain. It's why he will likely be remembered for quite a long time. When you ask a Dragon Ball fan to name a Dragon Ball villain, there's a pretty high possibility they say Frieza. As one of Goku's early foes, he was perfect in forcing Goku to travel to dark places in order to overcome his sheer might. Goku had to develop into a Super Saiyan in order to defeat him, one where a hero was forced to sacrifice a little bit of himself. All of this makes Frieza the perfect villain. The undeniable, most iconic rival, not only in Dragon Ball history but possibly anime history, is Vegeta. Besides a memorable voice and visual design, Vegeta's backstory and history as the first villain of the first arc of Dragon Ball Z cemented him in the history books. He is the exact evil opposite to Goku. Together, they form the perfect yin and yang combination. Vegeta is always pushing himself to compete on Goku's level, out of jealousy and pride. However, it's the fact that Vegeta may be one of the most well-written characters in anime history. Even the fact that he's a hero now does not diminish his status as one of the series' most iconic villains. Whether it's futuristic androids and OP Super Saiyans, Dragon Ball certainly has some of the most memorable villains anime has to offer. When you think of Dragon Ball, which villain instantly comes to mind?